Bouillabaisse, live
That's
in DC.
the way we like it.
Live in DC. I'm in Logan Albright's flat.
Hello, this is my flat.
Condo.
You may recognize my flat from videos where I talk about books on my channel.
Nobody watches that. So we went and saw a movie live, which was Ma.
The movie wasn't live, it was pre-recorded, but we were there.
It stars several Oscar winners and Oscar nominees such as Alison Janney, Octavia Spencer, and other folks.
Others. Those are my favorite characters, the others.
It's about a bunch of kids who are befriended by a slightly older woman who lets them come and hang out and drink booze in her basement. Not a good idea.
Sounds like a bad idea. Imprudent, I would say. But you know, most good movies start with something imprudent.
Most horror films, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, did you like the film?
I thought it was a lot of fun. There were a couple things I liked about it. I thought that it had a good slow burn. Like it started off kind of, you know, vaguely creepy, but not really crazy, and then it got really insane towards the end. But it took a long time to get there.
It did start out slow.
And I liked that development.
It did start out slow, but it wasn't...
you think that was a bad thing, whereas I thought it was a good thing.
I don't mind things starting out slow at all. I just felt like the first third was a mess.
A mess.
And then it started to bring me in, and things started coming together a little bit.
In what sense did you think it was a mess?
I didn't feel like it had a cohesive storyline. Some of the character relationships didn't make sense. The character motivations didn't make any sense.
So I have a slightly more positive take on it than you do.
Go.
I thought it was a good, slowly developing story where there were a lot of flashbacks to what had happened to the main character in her childhood that you slowly discover kind of her backstory and her motivations for why she's acting the way she's acting. Now, there's no justification for her acting the way she's acting, but you can slightly understand it. And one of the things I thought was cool about this movie is the villain in the movie, the bad guy, is firmly convinced in her mind that she is the hero of her story. She thinks that she has been dealt a raw hand and that she's making things right with her actions. And that kind of pathos plus madness, I thought worked well.
Something that this story has going for it is that it's a group of kids. There's 5 main kids or so and some B kids. And the kids are all likable. By B kids, I don't mean they made bees in school. I mean...
They raise bees in hives and for the honey.
Apiarist.
Yes.
I would watch that. But the kids were fairly likable. Even the kids that were like the bad kids.
Yeah, they
were
did a
redeemable.
good job. They did a good job of avoiding the like high school stereotypes of just the kids who are mean for no reason just because they're in high school. Like, you know, even the kind of mean kids, they were okay. They were kids. They had complex personalities.
So what did you think about Octavia Spencer's performance?
I thought it was good. She did a good job of kind of like seeming slightly put upon, seeming slightly desperate, slightly sad. But then, like, she was able to dial up the crazy when she needed to.
I would never reduce a woman to just physical appearance, but Juliette Lewis, super hot.
Not as hot as Missy Pyle, who also makes an appearance in this movie.
Love Juliette Lewis. She plays kind of the main character's mom. She blends that right amount of trying to be a cool mom, but she obviously cares about her. She's looking out for where her daughter is. She's trying to keep her in line. And Luke Evans, who I spent the entire movie trying to figure out who he was. And then it came up at the end. I was so disappointed in myself.
I was doing that with Alison Janney. I couldn't place her.
Alison Janney plays Octavia Spencer's boss quite well. It's a campy role for Alison Janney.
Yeah,
but it's
true.
It's rich. It's delicious.
You don't see her in those type of movies very often.
She's great with a
like
comedy role. Well, I rated it a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, but really I would give it a 6.5. I round up.
Without wishing to be spoilery, I thought there were a couple of nice kind of ironic turns in the end, the denouement that were kind of laid in early and then kind of twisted around in order to resolve the plot. So I enjoyed that.
That's French for the shakedown.
Yeah, the shakedown.
Okay, so if there was a sequel to Ma, 1, what would it be called, and 2, would you see it?
I probably would see it. I don't think it's likely that there will be a sequel because of the way that the original one ended. But
Jason Blumhouse.
I liked it.
They're a sequel factory.
If we did have a sequel, we would call it Ma Ma.
That was my joke from earlier.
Yeah, it's a hilarious joke. I'm repeating it and pretending like I came up with it.
What about if it's Octavia Spencer's Mama, and then it could be called Grandma?
Grandma?
Or Ma 2.
I don't like Ma 2. That's too
stupid.
derivative.
Ma again. Ma 2, Ma again.
How about Am?
You can't Ma by yourself.
Just backwards. Am.
No. Mama.
Mama.
We're going to put a link to the Steve Harvey Family Feud video down below. Can we do that?
Of course.
Okay. What about Steve Harvey Family Feud as a horror film? I would watch that.
They've actually done it.
What?
There's a YouTube video
It sounds
called,
like a Herschel Gordon Lewis film.
I forget what it's called, but it's Steve Harvey having an existential crisis about Family Feud, and it's edited in a way that makes him look like he's losing his mind because of the stupid answers he has to put up with. It's well done.
Well, what's next? We saw about 9 trailers before the film.
Lots of trailers. The one I'm most excited for is, of
Jim
course,
Jarmusch.
Midsummer, which is not Jarmusch.
It's by the director of Hereditary.
Hereditary, yeah. It has a real, like, pagan vibe, which I like a lot.
That's so you.
It's very my style. It reminds me a lot of the original Wicker Man, not the remake with Nicolas Cage, but the one with Christopher Lee.
You don't have to tell me twice. The new Jim Jarmusch film is coming out, so if you're interested in that, please see it, because he makes a film about every 6 years.
Bill Murray's in it.
And so is Adam Driver.
I like Bill Murray.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, she was in We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Oof.
That was a rough movie.
Oof.
It was a hard movie to watch.
I don't want to talk about Kevin.
We need to talk about Kevin.
No, we don't. Anyway, this has been Ma. We need to talk about Ma.
Okay. The thing I didn't like about the movie is when they sit down at the bar to order their drinks, they order the drinks, and then in the next scene they have their drinks, and you never see them being delivered. What's that? How do I know where the drinks came from? I need those kind of connective tissue in order to follow the plot of the movie.
This has been a special live edition of Film Bouillabaisse,
It's not live, it's pre-recorded.
but we're both in the same place.
That's true.
It's not awkward because we're not flipping back and forth.
Right.
That about rounds it up. Would you recommend this film to others?
Yeah, if you like horror movies, it's a fun one. You know, it's not the best horror movie you'll ever see this year, but it's a good horror movie, and you'll have a good time watching it. You know.
If you think you're interested in it, go give it a shake. Come see us next time for Film Bouillabaisse, where we review
Rocket Man.
Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Bye. Go.
We're here for another exciting episode of
No, you can't. That's a weak start. You got to start stronger than that.
All right, let's start over.
No, keep going. Keep it rolling. Here we go.